Hello, everybody, and welcome to TV Gold. I'm your host, Jennifer Aydin, and I just want to start off in gratitude right now. Just want to say thank you for all the love you guys have been giving to TV Gold. I mean, the comments have been nice. It's a nice change. It's been fun, so comment, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Oops, my Mikey. All right, guys, so I want to talk to you today about beauty, aesthetics, plastic surgery. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm 48 years old and I have 5 children. Their ages are 12, 14, 16, 18, and 21. And I gained 60 pounds with each kid every time I had a kid. And every time I would have the kid, I would tell myself, okay, so it took me a year to gain it. It'll take me a year to lose it. I didn't always lose it when I wanted to by the time I had my next kid. And I was like, you know what? I really enjoyed my pregnancies. I loved being pregnant. I love to eat. I've always loved to eat. So losing weight and fluctuating with my weight after I had my kids was a struggle for me. So it's like, what do you do, right? When I started the show, I was 170 pounds. And that was after I had all my 5 kids. And I think Olivia was old enough where it was like, okay, that year that it was supposed to take it off? Yeah, like that's come and gone. And I was still heavy, but I was good. Like I knew how to dress for my body. Like it was okay. And I always said that if I was ever going to do anything, it would be after I had all my 5 kids. Which leads me to my guest today. I have a very special guest today. I mean, he's very special to me, He takes up my life 50% of the time, probably even more.
It should be 100.
Oh my God, touche. He's already jumping in on me. My team player over here, he's a double board certified plastic surgeon, father to my 5 beautiful children, my handsome husband, Dr. Nabil Bill Aydin.
Hello, Jennifer Aydin.
Did you like my intro?
I did.
You
Great
did?
to see you.
Oh my God, he's so good, guys. He literally got off work and came straight here. And he was away this weekend, went to a medical conference,
Yes.
right? Why don't you tell us where you were, Dr. Aydin?
So I was in Boca Raton for our conference.
Not St. Bart's, huh?
No, not this weekend.
No, not this weekend.
For the latest and the best innovations in face and rhinoplasty. Mm-hmm. So it was a great conference. We'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Initially he had asked me to go, but we've been traveling so much lately. We went to France for a wedding. Bill finally took me to Paris. And no, I've never been. And I would tell people and they'd be like, you didn't go to Paris? And the one time we were going to go to Paris, we had everything planned. The kids wanted to go, right? It was spring break.
Yeah.
And then we found out the riots.
I call it the French Revolution 2.0. Yeah, they had the riots.
It was like they had riots. They had rats. It was all over TikTok. Like you couldn't get taxis in the Charles de Gaulle airport.
Right.
And I'm seeing all this and I remember sending it to you and it's like, we can't go. But you know what? Like the kids are off from school. We got to go somewhere. So literally within days, we canceled that trip and booked good old-fashioned Bahamas, right?
Can't go
When in
wrong.
doubt, always go to the Bahamas.
Can't go wrong with
we go to the
Bahamas.
Atlantis, usually like around July 4th. Not all the time, but it was frequent when the kids were younger. We loved it. It's a great resort. Kids have something to do, and a lot of our friends would go. And listen, you know as well as I do that if the kids don't have friends, we're in trouble.
Right.
Yes.
It's only enjoyable if they're having a good time. Right?
Yeah. And I want this to be a vacation, not torture, So it's like, let's bring something so everybody's happy. So we make sure we go with other families and all that good stuff. So yeah, Bill took me to Paris. We went in September. Why did we go, Bill? Honey bun. I'm doing all the talking.
So it was obviously my cousin's wedding. Sorry.
Wedding.
My cousin's wedding.
I'm making you nervous.
Not at all, Annie. It's been a long day.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
Look, we didn't want it to take this long, but I think over the years, once you decide to have a big family, the relationship takes almost a back step. And of course, in my profession, I don't take a lot of vacation.
I know.
That's the second part of it.
Right.
So I give you usually 1 week a year, and that's with the kids. And, I think now that they're getting older, it'll be a little bit easier.
Listen, I'm not
for us
complaining,
to-
okay? I believe in divine timing,
Yeah.
and it was literally the trip of a lifetime. I mean,
Yes.
he asked me where I wanted to stay, and there was so many choices, but I wanted to stay at the Ritz because I knew that, like, I was like, oh my God, it's like right around the corner from Chanel. And Chanel like lived there for a very long time. And it's, it's the Ritz. And that's where Princess Diana was the night that she passed away. And I'm like, this is historic. So we stayed at the Ritz, we went business. My suite, they upgraded our suite and they gave us a beautiful balcony that overlooked the Eiffel Tower. And they told us that a lot of the rooms didn't have the view of the Eiffel Tower. Not only did I get that, but I got a balcony too. Oh my God. Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was very good. Thank you.
Long worth the wait.
Yeah, it was so worth it, dude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have it any other way. And his brother and my sister-in-law came with us. And it was so cute because we had like a couple's trip. I don't think we've ever done that. Have we done that?
Not with them either, yeah.
We went with them once. We went to
Right.
Cabo, but Helene came with us.
Yeah, it was with the kids, yeah. I mean, this is the time where
Yeah.
the kids are a little bit older now. They can be self-sufficient.
I'm
And
excited.
we can do a little bit more of this.
Yeah. And listen, you're not supposed to go everywhere in the beginning of your marriage. That's okay. Like for us, he was working and I was busy having our family. And the more kids we got, the harder it was to travel. So when we did travel, we wanted somewhere that we can bring our kids and that was very child friendly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been great.
So we went to France. And I just want to talk really quick about some of the stuff that we did in
Yes, of
France. Because
course.
I wore this French-inspired outfit just for you.
You look very gorgeous in
do?
it.
Do you like the red bow?
Sir, I came in my scrubs.
That's okay. That just shows me you're a doctor, honey.
I live in them.
Sold at the Scrubs. Yes. No, you had me at Scrubs. That's okay, baby. You do you. You had a long day at work. It's fine. But few fun things we did. So the Moulin Rouge, it's
Yeah.
actually one of my favorite movies. And fun fact, I don't know if you remember this, Bill, but do you remember you threw me a surprise 30th birthday party? And it was
The theme of...
it was to dance with me on the stage. You picked the song from Moulin Rouge.
Yes, that's
where
your favorite movie.
That was my favorite movie at the time. And like when you specifically asked for that song, which you and McGregor sang,
All You Need Is Love.
yeah, and this gift is my song and this one's for you. But it's really an Elton John song, right? It's your song. So, but there was like a huge thunderstorm that night. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was at Turkish Kitchen. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's the thing. Like we were paying our dues and doing the mom-dad thing. And so Paris is all divine timing. So then Moulin Rouge, hello, in Paris. So I got us tickets. I wanted to get us tickets. They have a dinner. So they offer a dinner at I think the first round of the show. They play it twice. But this dinner was sold out. And then I heard it was a prefix menu anyway. So I was like, you know what? God looks out for me. But anyway, then we went to the show and there was absolutely no videoing and they looked at you with death if you even had your phone in your hand. I was so upset. You can film before the show comes on, remember?
Yep.
You could film and I was doing that, but once the show came on, you couldn't film anymore. And I know it's respectful. I know, I get that, but it's not even for me to post. To me, I'm documenting everything because I feel like memory is so fleeting. And, back in the day, we looked back on photos to jog our memory. And it's we have the luxury of a video now. It doesn't mean I have to post
absolutely.
it. So I want the memory. And then this way I could show the kids and I could show people oh my God, it was so awesome. They did a lot of acrobats. Did you like it?
It was an amazing show.
Yeah.
Listen, I enjoyed it. Super talented people, right? I mean, today, to be good at that craft is a full dedication.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to bend your body the way they did, all 6 ways,
They
and
were stacking on top of each other like a ladder, those guys. And these guys were
Unbelievable.
built.
Unbelievable.
It was crazy.
Both the men and women. I
Yeah.
mean, that is... that's
There was
real
darts
talent.
throwing and
That's-
showgirl acts. It's all in French, though. It's all in French, no English. But that's okay. You know what? We're
It's
in their
like
country.
Cirque du Soleil mixed with,
Yeah.
mixed with
Yeah, nothing that has to do with the
poetry
movie.
kind of thing, yeah.
Nothing that has to do with
Yeah.
the movie. But definitely they had the showgirls at the end. So which very Moulin Rouge. And then we left and then we got hustled in the cab on the way back to the hotel.
Unfortunately,
They do
seems
that
like
in
it's
France. It was like 45 euro. Dude, right? It's 45 euro for like a 9-minute.
Was it that or was it more? I don't remember. I remember it was, but that's the thing. When
Because
they work
when we were
off
going
of,
there, it was
I
like
know.
11 euro.
Right. When they don't work on the meter, so to speak.
Right.
They just jack it up. And it's common to a lot of places, unfortunately.
Right.
Wherever there's tourism,
Which is
they
fine.
take advantage of it. Yeah.
It's okay. You're on vacation. You're never going to get that money back.
Indeed.
Indeed. So did you like the Ritz that I made you stay there? I know. Your life is so tough.
It's definitely.
Did you like it?
It was a good experience. Yeah. I mean,
You like the Ritz?
it was A plus,
Mm-hmm.
right? Obviously, the amenities were unbelievable,
Oh my God. Our room was gorgeous.
right?
Our room was so pretty.
Yeah.
It just looked like gold jewelry
It
everywhere.
was Taj Mahal.
It was really nice. And you
gold
love that
everywhere.
stuff. You love that stuff.
Every
I
so
love it
often,
too.
every so
I
often,
love it
it's
too.
good.
I ain't
It's a
gonna
lot
lie.
of
I ain't
glimmer.
gonna lie. And then, of course, we're in Chez Paris. I got to get me some Chanel. So we were busy with the wedding stuff and we went to the Eiffel Tower. That was fun. Oh, the Eiffel Tower. We should talk about the Eiffel Tower.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a lunch. You booked it. You
Yeah.
tell it. I'm talking too much.
So they have two restaurants on the tower, right? There is the first level and
So
the
there's
second
one level and then all the way at the
Yeah,
top. But the
that's-
top has the prefix menu, I think. Well, they both have
Well, they
prefix
both
menu.
technically had
Oh, that's
that.
Michelin star, the one on the top.
I think it's a Michelin 2-star, maybe that second one. And
Don't
so
quote us on this, anyone. We're not sure. We're like guesstimating.
The first level one was basically
The barista, brasserie.
brasserie,
The
yeah.
brasserie. And you can make a reservation online for the brasserie. And I actually suggest, it was like a set menu price, right? Per person. You gotta prepay.
Well, that's what they are, yeah.
That's fine. Just letting everybody
Keeps
know.
it simple so that it's more touristic and you kind
Yeah.
of
So you
move
go
people
online, you
along.
could book at the brasserie, and then you could just have the reservation online, and it's already, you prepay it. And the good thing about it is, so when you get to the Eiffel Tower, obviously there's lines, you have to go through security. There's like a long line to get in just to see the Eiffel Tower. But if you have a reservation, they let you cut the line, or you go on a different
only if
line.
you're late. Yeah, we were late, so they
were
kind
so
of.
late.
So
were
we're
so
a little
late.
late, and they were going to close the restaurant.
They were going to close.
So-
but I think there's a separate line there's a separate line anyway. I saw other people that
There
were
is, but you
going-
got to wait in line.
Yeah.
So technically,
Right, but the line is so much shorter.
yeah.
So it's like,
But the lift, I guess the lift you get with that first level doesn't let you go all the way to the top. You have to get a separate lift
so you got
ticket
that.
to
So
go to
like
the top.
it with your reservation for lunch or dinner, it lets you only until the floor of,
And then you can go up
and then you can go up
technically-
some stairs.
Right, but
I
not to
think.
the top.
You just can't go to the top. You'd
Right.
have to buy the actual
Separate,
ticket
right.
separately.
Yeah.
But it's all right. Like I said, you're on vacation. You never seen this money again. And that's okay. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
It
And
was
then
enjoyable, yeah.
we had your cousin's wedding. That was beautiful. It was in a castle, right? Like a chateau.
Chateau.
And we got to see, it was like a Bill family reunion, an Aiden family
was,
reunion.
yeah,
I have
we
to
got
say,
to
I was
see.
a hit. Was I not a hit?
You're always ahead.
Oh, I love. You see why I married him? And no, they don't make more of this.
I mean, of course, we
mean, we
haven't
got to
seen
see your
family in
family.
a long time,
Yeah.
so it was a nice reunion.
So who did we see?
Last time I saw them was for a memorial service, so
Mm-hmm.
the occasion, unfortunately, is more somber then. So it's nice
It
to
was
see
nice,
them.
and it was nice to see your
happy.
sister. His sister lives in
Yeah.
Germany.
Yeah, my niece,
His niece, my niece,
my nephew,
our
and,
niece.
and their baby.
Yeah, so we got to spend time with them. So it was really nice. So it was like we got a little bit of everything when we were in Paris.
We definitely have a lot of family in Europe, so
We
it's,
do.
you
And
know,
it was like a little family reunion and everybody came. And this wedding had like, I don't know, like 300 people? Mm-hmm. 300 people. And it was a typical Middle Eastern wedding. We went to go pick up the bride. You
Yeah.
know, they playing the big drums and it's very loud. And, it's a celebration. So that was really beautiful. And then, of course, my favorite part of the trip was going to Chanel I'm purchasing something because it was our final day, right? Was our flight that night? Yeah, our flight was that day.
It was that evening, yeah.
It was the only time that I really had to go. I mean, we had went to that Lafayette, but it was a Saturday. Don't go there on a Saturday.
Packed house, yeah.
Packed house, line for Chanel. What'd you buy? You bought something.
I got myself some cologne and a couple of Mont Blanc pens.
And you know, when I buy you the pen, you make me return it. You're like, I have so many. It's all right. We buy our own stuff. It works. Right. It works. So I was trying to go, and then I went to the Chanel across the street, but that was just jewelry. And then I wanted to go to the one that was like around the corner. They were kind of like rude to me. So I was like, you know what? This is supposed to be fun. So remember, I came back to the hotel and did we have lunch somewhere? Yeah, we were going to lunch at the Plaza Athénée.
Yes.
Yes. And Bill hates being late. I'm always late. I'm a couple minutes late. But having said that, I read a study once that they said people who are perpetual late are usually more successful in life. So that's just sidebar. It's not intentional that I'm late. You know, I'm doing a lot of stuff. And, you know, it takes me time to look like this. I do all my own glam, hair, makeup.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very into the aesthetic. So they were rude to me. Then we went to the Plaza Athénée. Then there was a Chanel across the street, but they didn't have the bag I wanted. So we were leaving and I was sad. And Bill was like, let's just go back to the one who was rude to you. I'll be with you this time. They won't be rude to you, which is true. I don't know why everyone's so rude to me. But anyway, so I didn't want to go because I was like being pouty. I was like, no, it's okay. Forget it. Like, I don't need to buy Chanel anyway. I have so much Chanel. I don't care. And then, of course, like you kind of insisted. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to fight. It's like, you want Chanel. So we went to Chanel.
I was only going to give you 15 minutes. So I'm like, you got to.
Listen, I was fast. Yes. I was fast. And the woman who had hosted me, who was nice to me, so they weren't all rude, just like one. She knew that I was kind of annoyed with the other one. So when I walked in, she right away knew, and she saw you. And of course, like everybody's nicer to me when you're around. It's all right. I like it that way. I just had to bring you everywhere I go.
I guess so.
I guess so. So anyway, we walk in, and the woman was wonderful, and I was so happy. And I bought a bag and a necklace and earrings. I don't know. I brought three things. I can't remember. But my point is, Bill was saying to her, we don't want the box. Leave the box. And I was like, it's okay. Leave the box. I have so many boxes. And she's like, oh, no, madame. She's like, you want this box. She's like, the Rue Cambon is the only place in the world where you can get a Chanel bag with a white box. Only the 2 Rue Cambon stores, because those were Chanel's original locations, which is right around the corner from the Ritz. I knew it was a good idea to stay there.
The white box. Look at
and
the
it's
bright
true.
side.
It got a white box and a white bag. And I think that's a fun fact that everybody needs to know. So all those Chanel lovers out there, if you ever go to Paris and you want to buy your Chanel from Paris, I would say let it be from one of the Rue Cambon stores, because those are Chanel's original stomping ground. And then you get a white box for your bag. And it's like, you know, kind of like a souvenir. They get for free. I mean, we should get something for free. They don't give me any Chanel. And they don't even give me any Chanel for free. I got this letter once. I got this letter once where I was first on the show to the house. And it was like, Jennifer, I'm such a huge fan. Like, it's my dream to give my wife and daughter Chanel bags. I know they probably give it to you all for free. They do not give it to me for free. Ask him. They do not give it to me for free. And now, like, we've got our girls, like, cooked. It's not good.
You, not me.
Me, but then you add to it.
I think that it's not age appropriate, to be honest.
You just bought them 2 Louis Vuittons in Rome at the airport. That's
more age appropriate, I think.
Louis Vuitton?
I think Louis and Gucci are a little bit more for youthfulness, and Chanel is meant to be for older age, at least in my mind. So,
well, everyone's entitled to an opinion. I think so. Chanel's a classic, and it's just, for me, it's just like classic. It's chic, it's beautiful, it's feminine. It's subtle, it's not heavy. I don't know. It's just, for me, it's like Je suis Paris.
It is what it is.
Coco Chanel. You be Louis. I be
Yes.
Chanel.
There you go.
Yeah, so that was our wonderful trip to Paris. But I like looking good. I like looking good. Thank God. I mean, the glow up is real, peeps. So, as I was saying before, I was, I think, 170 pounds when I joined the show. And then when I first joined, I lost weight. I mean, I've done every diet. I've done the drinking the maple syrup, cayenne pepper one. Remember when I did that?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, remember when I did that? I did like working out. I hated that. Well, I hated that then. I don't hate it now. I actually love working out now, but that's another story. But back then, I hated to work out, and Bill would always be like, if you want to go get out with the kids a little bit, maybe you should take them to the gym. That's not my happy place. Me putting 3 little kids in a car seat in the dead of winter in Michigan, freezing cold, just so I can go to Lifetime to have 2 hours of free babysitter time, it's not worth it. I'll put on some Dora, some little Einsteins, and then I'll go in the other room and watch Oprah. I don't want to do all that. Yeah. So that was Michigan, because we lived in Michigan. So like I said, Bill is double board certified. He's board certified in general surgery and in plastic surgery. And we actually met at his brother's wedding when he was a general surgical resident at
That's
St. Vincent's
correct.
Hospital. What year did we meet? Do you remember?
Well, technically we met before that, but I guess when we met before that was more of a...
That's right, Dr.
in
Aydin. So I
passing,
guess
not
in an official way, so I'll
Right.
get to that. So when we officially kind of met and crossed paths, do you remember when that was?
my brother's wedding.
But do you remember the year?
2001. What do you mean?
Yes,
we
I'm
remember?
just saying.
Jeez.
Sometimes people forget after a while. You're like, how long we been married? 2001.
Yeah.
So 2001, and we met.
August of 2001.
So we met the Sunday before Labor Day,
Mm-hmm.
2001, and we got married the Sunday before Labor Day, 2002.
2.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And we had 600 people at our wedding.
It was technically 364 days. Day before, right? Their anniversary is August 26th.
Yeah. Yeah. And
we're
like,
August 25th, yeah.
yeah. And so he says, like, I actually met him from before because Bill's family's in the jewelry business and my family's in the jewelry business, and my family was retail and his family was wholesale. And he would actually come to our jewelry store when I was growing up, like #teenager. And it was funny because, like, I vaguely had remembered him because when he came to the booth and he was trying to sell some jewelry, he's showing my father and my brother, who was in charge of buying the jewelry. And my mother was there too, somewhere in the background. And he's showing them the jewelry. And my brother starts talking to my dad in Turkish. And then he says, "Oh, you speak Turkish? I speak Turkish." And then they start speaking Turkish. And then my brother and my dad are like, "Well, we're Syrian Orthodox from Turkey." And he was like, "I'm Syrian Orthodox from Turkey." And then my father's like, "What?"
Turns out we're cousins. Just kidding.
No. But my dad is like, "Which village are you from?" His family. And they all were from the villages of southeastern Turkey. And then Bill was like, "Midyat, Ainuart, what village are you from?" And then, of course, like my mom starts inching up, right? My mom's like, "Okay, who's this fella now?" Oh, this very tall, dark, handsome fella. And it's funny, like I vaguely remember you from that. And then
That was 95, I think.
yeah, totally 95.
95,
Totally
96,
95.
yeah.
I was 18 years old at the jewelry store. And I remembered him. And then my dad would always take me to the jewelry shows in Vegas because he loved the jewelry that I would pick for the store. Every time I picked something, it would sell just like that. So he valued my opinion. But the thing is, a girl like me going to the Javits Center or the JCK? It was the JCK show.
The JA was the Vegas.
No,
the JA
JA
was
is
New
New
York.
York. So
JCK was Vegas, yeah.
the JCK show in Las Vegas, and my dad and my brother in the jewelry show was taking around a girl like me. I mean, literally, I was fresh meat. I never even looked at any guy in the eye. I was so just afraid that my dad or my brother would just they were not good around guys being around me. So, but every time we would go to your dad's booth, I think maybe once I saw you there and I glanced and I remembered you. Because
I didn't do it every year because I was going to school in New York at the time.
Yes, so he went to New York Med New York
Yeah.
Medical School in Westchester. Bill is a graduate from there, and he did his residency at St. Vincent's Hospital. So he was doing his residency in the city for most of the time. So I didn't always see him, but I did remember you.
Yeah.
And anyway, like we crossed paths at your brother's wedding, and it was funny because I remember I was with my brother. And the thing is, like, we're from Long Island, and his family was living in Los Angeles, even though he was in New York City doing his residency. We were invited to California for the wedding, and my parents were like, oh, you know what? A lot of their relatives were invited because we have a very small knit Syrian Orthodox community. Everybody kind of knows each other, and they were all in the same jewelry business. My father's aunts and uncles. So my dad's a jeweler. My uncles are jewelers. You know, 2 uncles on my mother's side are jewelers. My grandfathers are jewelers. It's like that. It's like that. And Bill's family is a jeweler, and all his family is jewelers. Is that not right, though?
That is right.
That's like, my cousin Vinny.
All my uncles are jewelers.
They're all jewelers. So my dad was like, this is a great reason for us to have a little vacation, go to California, see his family, because he did have aunts and uncles there that were also invited to my brother-in-law's wedding.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, we're in the church, and I saw you walking down because you were the best man.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like looking at you. I'm like, there's that good looking guy that I remember from whenever. And my brother like nudged me, and he's like, did you ever meet Bill? Like their son? I was like, I played coy. I was like, no, I don't think so. I played coy. And like, anyway, like the rest is history. Here we are. And you know what I object to? One of his cousins was like, oh, when you want to know what the girl's going to look like in the future, look at her mother. And I negate that because at the time that we met, like my mother was like going through a phase. She was, considered obese. She's had gastric bypass since then. Totally changed person. Lovely woman. Love you, Mom. But he had a cousin that would always say, like, when you want to know what the woman's going to look like, I object to that. And I don't think that's true, actually. Right? Hello? It's your opinion that counts.
So I guess historically, I'm not sure. We have to fact check on AI to see
but that did happen,
what
right?
cultures. No, the conversation did happen. But what I'm saying is I don't know if it's unique to a certain culture or not where they say that. So I'm not familiar with it.
Well,
there was
I think it's not true.
A recent study that came out actually said, kids get their look from the father. Mm-hmm. But as far as, that cliche saying of looking at the, mother-in-law, I don't know if it's unique to a certain culture. So
listen, my mother's beautiful. She has a beautiful face. She has beautiful skin. Her hair is
today, unfortunately,
I have my dad's hair.
Weight and struggles with weight is not unique to any one background. Mm-hmm. I think it's a problem of today's society. We have a lot of wealth and food and an excessive amount of eating issues across the board. Food is being cooked to enjoy, not just for caloric consumption.
Right, but food is also something social, right?
Yes,
so you get to a certain point in your life. We're not clubbing anymore, peeps.
It's a lot of it, yeah.
We're going to nice dinners, and Bill likes to order a lot. Which honestly, listen, you know what he says? If we're going to go out to dinner, I might as well enjoy it. I'm not going out to just eat like one thing. And I like the variety, don't get me wrong. But before, when I was struggling with my weight, it would always be a thing because I would like to eat. And I realize now that I didn't used to think that I ate a lot, but I obviously, hindsight, I did because I had lost weight once I was on Housewives. I had done this HCG diet that worked for a while, but then I plateaued. I did this thing where I went to like a holistic acupuncture doctor and I was drinking this murky sewer water. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
They had a patch you were putting on,
I would
right?
go every 2 weeks and get a big like reusable shopping bag filled with these pouches, and the pouches I would just tear and drink it right before every meal 3 times a day. And it literally looked and tasted like sewer water. But, I was like, I'll drink horse piss if it makes me skinny. I would at that time. Now, no, I'm good. I'm happy like this. But my point is, what really helped me to lose weight finally, to like break 155. I could not break 155. And listen, I dressed good for my body. I have this theory, like, just because it fit, don't mean it look good, okay? It can make you look fat. It can make you look frumpy. I try on all my clothes before I like go out into the world, because I want to make sure that it doesn't just fit, that it looks good to my body. And people have different body shapes. I was lucky enough where I was thick all over. So, and I hated my arms always. They were always thick. I always had great legs though. You know, that kind of stuff. Right, babe?
Yes.
So, but I always hated my arms. So I always dressed according to my body. So I felt like I was doing good with that. But then I plateaued and I just could not break that 155 mark until... GLP-1s. Thank you. Some people say it was Ozempic. It wasn't Ozempic, you idiots. Not everybody. Not everybody's an idiot. Only the ones who thought Ozempic. In the comment, like, Ozempic. Who cares, dude? Okay, and your point is, can you sing? Can you sing? It's not Ozempic. It was Mounjaro. It doesn't matter. Meaning, like, people do what they need to get to where they want to be. No, doctor? I mean, isn't that why people come to see you? I mean, I have started to have some work done after I had all my kids, you know. Thanks, Bill.
Welcome.
Thanks, Bill.
I mean, look, today, trying to reset one's weight is a challenge. Whether, you know, it started with bariatric surgery when people were significantly
that's what my mom had.
Overweight. Yeah. And, you know, some people didn't qualify if their BMI wasn't elevated enough. So unfortunately, they went on to actually gain more weight so they would qualify for bariatric surgery, which is kind of terrible to sound that people would go on in the kind of a
so crazy, but that's
almost
true,
a bad habit for longer in order to be able to qualify for bariatric surgery, then lose the weight. You know, so I think the market welcomes, you know, I like to call it metabolic disorder almost in a way, where and this is the part we're trying to understand. Is it just a bad eating habit, or is it more complicated? It's definitely more complicated. You know, one brain feels fuller at technically with lesser amount of food, and the next brain may not feel as full. And biologically, it's seeking more. So I think the cliche saying that it's just coping out and copying out, and you know, it's not so simple. I think the problem is definitely more complicated. Yeah, today if you're starving and there's no food and you're living in the middle of a desert, you're probably not going to be overweight. There's just not enough food for you. But if you take that person out of that and put them in an environment where they're actually allowed to eat based on what their body's seeking, then it's possible that they get overweight.
I mean, the food noise is shut off. That's what it does. Yeah. And I, you know, have no desire to even eat sometimes. I do get hungry, but it lasts me for a long time. I always make sure to have a protein. I pretty much eat at home, or if we go out to dinner, it's usually just fine dining. But I feel like I eat pretty well, and the protein holds me over, but I feel full for a long time. And I only eat 2 meals a day, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's okay to eat just 2 meals a day.
So I think the old school saying that you had to eat 3 meals is probably out the window now. Because that was really based on...
So you agree with just 2 meals a day is okay?
So technically, the studies show the best diet to be on for maintenance purposes is the intermittent fasting diet, which is basically eating for, let's say, 8 hours of the day, right? So that means perhaps your first meal is, you know, at 12. So you're eating 12 to 6, 12 to 8. The rest of the time, you're really not eating. So you can't fit 3 meals in that 16 hours of fasting time. So you're really just fitting usually 2 meals. You know, I guess, what is the word meal? So today, you know, if you're only having yogurt for breakfast, is that really having a meal? No.
Right, no.
When you say I'm having breakfast,
I would think
the
it would be a
assumption
balanced
is
meal.
Right.
When you're saying have 2 meals a
Right.
day, try to have a balanced meal 2 times a day.
Correct.
And
So then the
that
third
would
one
be
is not a
okay.
meal. So your breakfast is then not a meal, so to
Well,
speak.
if you have breakfast, if you're eating at 12, then it's not breakfast. It's like
Right.
lunch. It's
So
like the
that's
first
right.
meal of the day.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I suppose if you're a egg lover and you want to have your eggs at noon, you could, right? You can
Yeah,
have a Cobb
totally.
salad. You
Yeah,
can have
it's
something.
your
in it.
life.
So I think the part to understand is your caloric balance has to be there.
Mm-hmm.
If your baseline today only burns 1,500 and you don't have any extra activities at the gym, well, you can't eat more than 1,500 because you are going to fall behind. If your caloric baseline burn is 2,000 and you're at 2,100, well, you just deficited 100 calories, and that adds up over a whole month. So I think, of course, we don't measure people's baseline. It just meant to be that you're kind of gauge yourself.
So what is your take on the whole, like, using the GLP-1 in order for weight loss?
So it's not really meant for someone to lose 5, 10, 15 pounds. I think it should be reserved. 5, 10, 15 should be able to be done with lifestyle. Right? If somebody is only up 10 pounds, they should be able to modify their lifestyle to slowly lose that weight. But if you are 20 plus pounds and your lifestyle does not allow you to be able to lose it, yeah, at that point, I think it's good consideration. And of course, when we say 20 pounds, it may be different if you are 5'2" and 120 pounds.
Yeah.
20 pounds is almost, 18% of your body weight, versus someone who is, I don't know, let's say 6 foot, 200 pounds. 20 pounds is less than 10% for them.
Right.
So I
I
think
guess it depends.
it's a body percentage.
Well, that's why
amount
also
that
they
we're
have
talking about.
different measurements, like the different doses. You have
Well,
to go
everyone
up gradually.
starts-
Everyone has to
starts
start
at
low.
this lower dose to be able to kind of adjust and
So that's how it starts then. Just in case somebody doesn't know, if you take any one, if you're thinking about taking any one of these GLP-1,
again, you have to consult.
of course you
obviously,
go
your
to the
medical
doctor, but know that it's
profession.
something gradually that happens and
Our
takes
first
time.
line recommendation is always diet and exercise.
Sure.
Diet in the sense that change your diet, not to go on a diet. Change your diet to a point where understand the food pyramid, understand what is healthy. And I think, is enough being done at the younger age at school for, kids to be educated
they
about
don't
it
even
in
offer
health
good,
classes.
healthy food at the school.
Well, that's a different story, unfortunately. That's why it's a bit complicated.
But sometimes people, even when they lose the weight, they still have to stay on it to maintain. Otherwise, the food noise will come back.
So, yeah,
I know
that
people
is,
that
so
have
it
that has
takes
happened. That's happened to me. That's why I'm just still on maintenance. But I don't do Mounjaro anymore.
again,
I do
we
the
don't want people to
Zepbound.
take them for life, right? It's not meant to be for life. If you're not diabetic, you're not on these medications for life.
So that's not what
The question is,
the person prescribing it to me says.
so the question is this: can your food noises go away after being on it for 1 year, 6 months, 2 years, 4 years?
I mean, I
Do
guess
you
you'd
need
have
to
to
be on
try.
it? Well, so that's the part to understand. So if you're using this to lose weight and you stay on maintenance for another 6 months to a year, now do you analyze yourself and say, if I have an urge, do I act on every urge? That's what food noise is, right? You have urge that you're getting. Does that mean the person has to act on it?
Right, but
after
there's
a while,
also, like
you
I said,
don't.
it's social life. You're going out, you're
Well,
being exposed
right,
more,
right.
like holidays are coming up, there's
Sure.
parties. It's not about urges, it's about what's in front of you. It's about temptation.
Right. So that's the challenging
when-
part,
and on
because
the
we have
maintenance-
abundance of food and we celebrate with
Sure.
food. We
Yeah.
celebrate
Yeah.
with food, and that's not unique to any one custom,
No,
to be honest.
absolutely.
It's
Everybody
across
does that.
everywhere.
That's how you show love also through food.
And
a lot of
this
people.
is why obesity is across the whole world. It's
Yeah.
not unique to just America or certain parts of the country. Until we learn, again, most of the world has come out of poverty after World War II. So prior to World War II, there was not a lot of abundance of food around to go around. People just had the means only to be able to
There was
what they
no
can.
obesity epidemic.
Right. There was not enough wealth around that people can spend extra money on meat, extra money on a second soup, extra money
Now
on...
we got DoorDash every 5 minutes.
Right. So there's
At your
definitely...
beck and call.
So I think it's across the board has become abundance, and we celebrate every occasion with extra. Today, if you only have the means to buy one loaf of meat for a whole, family, well, there's not more food to go around. You're kind of not going to have weight issues usually.
So do you see any trends shifting because of people maybe losing weight on these medications as far as the plastic surgeon side of things?
Well, I think on the health side, we always, as physicians, are going to recommend people to be at a healthier BMI, right? Obesity.
Like, let's say
is
they
a
want to come in
silent
for a
killer.
tummy tuck and you need them to lose weight.
Well, so look, today we do tummy tuck at all different types of BMI. So let's take someone who's 5'5". They could be 200 pounds. You might do a tummy tuck. They could be 180 pounds. They could be 150 pounds. They could be even at 5'5", 130 pounds, still need a tummy tuck, where it's only loose skin. There's not a lot of extra fat.
So then they don't need to lose weight.
Well, obviously not at that weight. So if you are 5'5", 200 pounds, can you do a tummy tuck on that person? You can. Is it going to come out to look as good as someone who is at 5'5" and 140 pounds? Probably not. You're not removing that much. Their journey may have started at a perhaps 300 pounds, and they may be already a weight loss of 100.
Oh, yeah.
And so
yeah,
now
and then they have loose skin.
Right. So now it's a loose skin. If somebody has a lot of visceral fat, which is that internal fat, you really can't do a good tummy tuck on them. So if somebody comes...
How does one get visceral fat?
Well, so everybody has some component of visceral fat. Now, today, genetics determines whether you're going to gain a lot more viscerally, internally, or you're going to gain more on the surface. So if you have a lot of visceral fat, you have to first lose all that weight before you can do a tummy tuck.
So you can't liposuction that out, the visceral fat?
Not the visceral fat.
Because
Visceral
that's
fat
underneath
is
the muscles.
behind the muscle, around your internal organs. And the way you tell that is you pinch your skin. And if you pinch in your skin, there's not a lot of surface fat, and you look like you got a very distended looking abdomen, most likely you got it all viscerally, and you got to lose the weight. And if you lose, some of those patients lose the weight and they're relatively satisfied with the way their skin looks, that they may not feel like there's that much loose skin, and they may not feel like they need to do a tummy tuck. And the next person obviously loses the weight. There is enough hanging weight. That might be true for men or women. Unfortunately, you can't tighten your skin at the gym. Right. Today, an 18-year-old may lose 60, 80, 100 pounds. And even if they've done it with diet and exercise, without taking any GLP-1s, without doing any weight loss surgeries like bariatric surgery, skin does not tighten for most people. When there is that kind of an extreme weight loss, often skin is loose enough that people feel the need to.
So is there any solution that someone could do to tighten skin? Like lasers?
Non-surgically, there are devices to tighten skin, and they work to some extent.
I mean, I feel like we have
skin
tightening lasers that aid in plastic surgery, right?
Today's best technologies for skin tightenings may be laser-based, they may be ultrasound-based, or they may be radio frequency, which are basically all devices to heat up the internal tissue. So when we say skin, what we really mean is the whole tissue from the muscle to the surface. So we use these devices to heat up that internal tissue so that it would contract, meaning shrink, so that you won't have this flab of tissue. Not
Does it
really
hurt?
Skin. They're relatively intense. They're not meant to be just like a little walk in the park.
Walk in the park.
So there are ways to make the person comfortable. Some of the devices.
They don't get sedated.
Not usually.
No.
Not usually. It's meant to be, often these things meant to be done awake, done with some sort of a skin numbing or some skin cooling way that you can tolerate the internal heating, so to speak. There are, of course, semi-invasive way that it can be done. What does that mean? It's done through small incisions internally also. So you can technically do them internally with some sort of a numbing, similar to how you would do a liposuction.
Isn't that invasive if you're cutting?
Well, it is somewhat of an invasive in the sense that it's small incision. It can be done with internal heating.
And then do you have a lot of downtime with that?
Those are pretty minimal downtime also.
When you say
downtime
minimal, you mean
really,
like 24 hours?
Yeah,
or
it could be a day, 2 days.
Okay, so a day, 2 days.
Obviously, things
Not
that
much.
are done from the outside are meant to be no downtime. So anything that you're doing from the outside, such as a external radio frequency or even a microneedling radio frequencies, and there's like all different names for them because there's multiple manufacturers, so it's never just one manufacturer with these devices. So whether it's an ultrasound based radio frequency or laser based, that tightening you do, here's the caveat though, it depends on your body. How much tightening it gets. So we're applying an energy-based device.
Are you talking about any one laser you have specifically or just in general?
All general treatments. Today, when we do a treatment on a person, whether it's a Botox, whether it's a non-surgical skin tightening or a filler, these are all treatments that your body now will react to.
Sure.
And how it reacts to it, when a patient says, geez, my Botox lasts 9 months, or the next person says, well, my only lasted 1, that means their body is breaking down that treatment faster.
And is it sometimes that maybe the Dysport or maybe like a generic brand might even work better sometimes for some people than the initial name brand one? Like it's different for each person?
So we call these neurotoxins. Right now, there are no generic neurotoxins.
Sorry,
they're
I'm
all
not sure.
brands.
They're
So
neurotoxins, and they're toxins that you inject, and this is Botox.
So neurotoxins under that name are basically some version of a botulinum toxin. Of course, there's
Which is
botulinum
Botox.
toxin. Well, so the Botox is now used as a brand. So there is a brand called Botox, just like there is a brand called Dysport, and just like there is brands under
So it's
different.
botulin, whatever you
So
said.
it's a botulinum toxin technically, and work in
botulinum toxin.
right. So these are all brands. There is no generic version of these toxins right now.
Don't know medical jargon.
And
That's what I got you for, babes.
so, of course, these things we will cite generally what they will do for an average person, but on each one individual, they'll work to perhaps a little different extent. And similarly, the fillers will work a little bit different on each person. They may last you a little bit longer, a little less. It's just like taking a blood pressure medication or diabetic medication. Your body might break it down faster. You have friends that you know that are on 2 or 3 blood pressure medication versus the next person takes 1 and their blood pressure control, or they're on such a low dose. And I think these treatments are very similar. When someone says, well, why does my body break this down faster? Well, and it happens that. And similarly, using these energy-based devices to help tighten the tissue, so to speak, right, under the term skin tightening, one person gets the treatment and they are super responder. Their body tightens amazingly. Next person gets it, only gets maybe 10-20% of that other person. Everyone has some response, but it's hard to measure when it's a mild response.
So how do they choose if there's more than one laser to choose from? Like, do they come in for a consult and talk to somebody that guides them?
Well, I think the best thing is first to kind of know what your goals are. And if somebody, and I always tell people, if your eye wants to see a tummy tuck response, or your eye wants to see a facelift kind of a result, you're not going to achieve them with non-surgical fashion, perhaps.
Right.
And not everyone needs a tummy tuck so to speak, and not everyone can do a tummy tuck, meaning you may not have enough.
You have to be a
loose
candidate?
Skin. Well, you may not have enough loose skin to do a tummy tuck. So there are times somebody doesn't have enough looseness of skin to do a tummy tuck. But usually, if you have enough,
why would they want a tummy tuck?
Well, my point is, if you have enough loose skin to do a tummy tuck, that means most likely tummy tuck is the gold standard.
Ah, okay.
So if you have enough loose skin to do a facelift.
No, I'm wondering if any skinny girls come to you and want a tummy tuck just so they could be skinnier.
Well, so today everybody can pinch their skin.
Right?
But just because you pinch your skin doesn't mean you need a tummy tuck.
Right.
Just like I can pinch my cheek doesn't mean I need a facelift right now. Eventually, I might have enough loose skin that I need a quote unquote, but the word need is today when you discuss aesthetics, nobody needs anything. But if that's what your eye wants to see.
We just want.
Right. So if your eye wants to see a facelift result and your skin is loose enough that you can technically do a facelift, well, you can only usually achieve them with a facelift.
So that was going to lead me to my next question, because it's actually, I already know the answer. But a lot of people always ask me, it's like the number one question I get about you. It's like, what is he specialize in?
So
it's a tricky question.
Well,
and
it's not a tricky question. So I think.
Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning into part 1. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about with Bill, so make sure you check out TV Gold Podcast next week as I continue my conversation with Dr. Bill Aydin. See you next week.